One of the most difficult tasks of parents is discipline. In my family, my father was the disciplinarian, guided by his Germanic upbringing and his educational background. One only needs look at the Grimm's fairy tales to understand some of the psychology of Germanic upbringing. There's a short little story called The Willful Child that illustrates this particular point. Why, there was a young child who would not obey what it was her mother wanted to have done. Would just do exactly the opposite. Now one day the child took ill, and neither doctor nor prayer could save her. And when they took that child to the graveyard, placed the child into the grave, piled onto the dirt, the child's arm came shooting up out of the grave. The gravediggers dug away the dirt, pushed the arm back down, covered it over with dirt, and what happened? Why, the arm came popping right up out of the grave. The child would not stay buried. The mother was brought back to the grave with a nice hazel wood switch. And she whacked that child's arm, and the arm went back down into the grave and never came up again. Gives new meaning to that proverb, spare the rod and spoil the child. Well, as I said, my mother was not the disciplinarian in our family, but one morning during my teenage years, I learned a valuable lesson about discipline from my mother, and it was most surprising. My sister and I were sitting at the breakfast table, looking out the 4 by 8 foot plate glass window to the ocean, 3 blocks distance. And there we were eating our cereal. My mother was at the sink countertop preparing our lunches. Now, I was at that time in a group of surfers. You could call us surf rats. And we were a little herd who liked to do kind of rebellious little things. And the current fad was belching. As long and as loud, and if you were skilled, you could actually pronounce words as you were belching, and that was worth a great deal of more status. Practice makes perfect, as they said. And as I sat there, I gulped my milk with a little extra air so that I could just let out a nice belch. And out it came, and I was going for volume, and I was going for duration. So I was able to look over at my sister, who was totally appalled by my behavior, and I was in mid-belch when, bang, something hit me square in the back of the head. I fell forward towards my cereal, and then dropping beside the bowl was a 2-pound brick of cheese. I was startled, and I was amazed, and I spun around, and I looked back. My mother who couldn't toss a frisbee, had grabbed that cheese off the counter, spun around 180 degrees, and threw it with such accuracy she hit me right in the back of the head. I was amazed at her daring. If she had missed, I think we would have had to try to explain to my dad how the plate glass window got broken. But we didn't have to tell my dad anything, and he didn't know about it for a long time after. Because, you see, I'd learned my lesson, and I never burped at the kitchen table again. Thanks, Mom, for the lesson in table manners.